Yours is beautiful, actually.
Okay, do you want to work on transferring this over? Oh, I still need to find on the table.
Right. Hello. Hello. Hello.
I was thinking we could just work from the bottom up.
It's Recovery Mom.
And Lou.
And Emma.
And Eva's here today. Eva's over there playing Sims.
Are you?
No, she's playing League.
Oh, she's playing League. Earlier, Lou, there was a big fire in the Sims house.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I never got that far because mine was too glitchy.
Not only was there a fire in the Sims house, but Eva's Sim caught on fire. It was literally like doing a fire dance.
I wish I could play The Sims.
Why
I
can't
just
you?
watch people play The Sims. My computer's too old and it doesn't load anything.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a bummer.
Mhm.
All right, my friends, we're going to puzzle
Hi, little boy.
and answer
Oh, my phone.
questions. We're gonna, we ordered some food, so order some food and join us with a nice meal or snack or something that you have been worried about eating, or I guess maybe the plan wasn't to just wholeheartedly dump this on the table, but that is kind of what.
Definitely not, especially
I
because
did.
there were a lot of pieces that I had cooked together.
All right, well,
I forgot the wipe.
that's all right. It's beautifully clean enough for me. So we ordered. Look at the whole bottom is done.
Big dicks.
Ah. Let's see if you can see. Here's our puzzle.
Maybe you can angle it down more so I can see both.
I'm afraid. Nope. I failed.
I bet we could.
I failed. I bet you could.
Mom,
but not me.
Can you
Yes.
plug this into that outlet right there?
There's an outlet right down there. There's an extension cord.
Well, too late now.
We're just like a death trap, a fire trap. Of
Oh, Mom,
course.
feel how soft my hair is. I don't think I'm going to wash it this weekend because it doesn't feel that oily.
No, it feels good. All right. Oof. It's warm in here.
I know, it is warm.
I'm
You
really,
should open the door.
I'm really excited now
Well, that's
that
how
I
I get
got a soda and an
I
icy.
can't believe that Grandma was complaining
From
about that poor
McDonald's.
TikTok lady.
Good boy!
What is he doing?
He's using the scratch pad like he's supposed to.
Aww.
Because then that keeps them from scratching at the couch. I love the fact I need to use those. They have like genderless clothing, Victoria's Secret. But they have some really, and those are like the only normal, like non, like logoed clothes that they have. So I think I'm gonna get that. Good boy!
If
You're
this is
such a
any
good
indication
boy.
of what type of puzzlers we are, look at your side and look at my side.
Mom, we need the instructions.
You do?
Yes, that and all of the puzzle pieces are in that
Oh, there's
bin.
more puzzle pieces.
Serious?
I thought
I'm
this
taking
was
my
it.
sweater off, even though
I
this
thought
is
this was it.
Oh
my
this
God.
one just said.
Guys. That
Mom!
is
This
all the
person
puzzle
said,
pieces.
I was just popping in to tell you I gave my mom that 29-page document I talked about, and it went great.
Yay! I am so glad. Moms are honestly, they
Some
want to be
moms.
there for you. Most moms, I would say, want to do the right thing
Oh.
and want to be there for you. It's just, we literally live in a state of fear all the time.
Okay, what's the next plant we can do?
This is the puzzle we're doing.
Why did you give me this?
I'm kind of confused on how that relates to the kittens outside.
The puzzle?
Because once I get rid of it, I can use that container as like a shelter for the cats.
Yeah. All right.
So, well look, so you can either find this bag or that bag to work on. And this bag I think is intermixed in these. Loki's going ham.
Okay. All right. I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing
Are you
it.
sure?
Yeah.
Because we both have aphantasia, so I don't know if we're really seeing it.
True. But I'm seeing all these little like bumpy pieces. But also we need to do the pot.
I know.
Pot. The pot.
This goes over here. I actually do really need this.
Okay.
This is part of this one right here.
Okay, well, I hope everybody
Oh, this person
is
said...
finding some wonderful food to eat while I find What puzzle piece? How do you know what's what?
Well, you just look at the colors of it. So this one, see, Mom?
Okay, well,
This one has got yellow flowers and the spiky things, and that
I want
matches
one
this
of
one.
these.
So this one matches this one.
Okay, I'll do that.
Notice how there's the spikies?
Okay.
This person
You're
said...
so organized. I've never seen a puzzle so organized in my
That's
life.
literally because Tava was getting so upset that he couldn't do the puzzle, so I literally spent an hour and a half organizing these puzzle pieces.
I love it. Okay.
This person said, it always seems like I either go wild with food/alcohol or I'm perfectly tracking, no in between. I think that's what that says. Any thoughts?
Yeah, that is perfectly normal, and I mean perfectly normal for someone with an eating disorder, right? And it's because whenever you're doing one of the things, the other half of you is angry and feels like you're doing it wrong. So like you're going all in and you're doing all the food and you're doing your feast eating and binging, which is what you should be doing, which is what your real self is like, great job, good job, you're doing great. But then your eating disorder self is like, bad, wrong, you're doing it wrong, you're doing it bad, you need to stop, you need to restrict, right? And so it's coming at you. And then when you're trying to restrict and calculate and plan and do everything all perfectly, then your normal self is like mad at you because you're doing that wrong. So it's like you're just stuck in the middle, you know, of recovering and not recovering, right? So that feeling is so normal, and it's like it's how we roll into that binge restrict cycle, right? Which sounds kind of like where you are. You go crazy and you binge for a while and you let yourself go free a little bit and you have all the drinks and you have all the food or whatever and you feel a little less inhibited. And then you freak out and you run back and you restrict and you calculate and you plan and you get really strict with yourself because of the fear that happened, you know, due to all of the letting go. And so that is precisely...
We should just put all these pieces away. I don't know what they're to.
So that is precisely, you know, how we roll into that binge restrict cycle. Now, to get out of it, I would suggest, like, perhaps we start eating right when we wake up in the morning, perhaps, and we eat every couple hours. And we don't worry about if we're going to binge or not. To binge, to feast eat is just in our genes, especially when you're starving. So it is going to happen. And so when it does, you just have to be like, oh, well, that happened, right? Like when you drink too much in the night. Oh, well, that happened. You get up, you feel like crap, and you get over it, right? And so it's the same kind of thing when you binge eat. So the next day, you do have to get up and you do have to eat breakfast. You can't start restricting when that happens. But also maybe you could take some small steps during the day, okay, so that your recovery isn't so black and white, so all or nothing. Make sure you're taking recovery steps that are smaller but regular. Like every single day, are you adding a little bit more calories? Every single day, are you resting a little more? Every single day, are you making sure to eat all your meals and maybe adding one now and then? So it's those little steps that we keep adding that push us forward that kind of prevent us, those of us with that personality, to end up in that binge restrict cycle. That's what will kind of help us so that we don't end up in that cycle, because we'll still be moving forward, right? If you're taking those little steps. And then the binges will happen. They will happen. I'm not so much worried about the fact that you're jumping back into restriction, but I'm worried about when the binges happen, you're feeling so bad and horrible and awful that you're feeling that you have to restrict after. So when they happen, during the time they're happening, when you're eating or drinking or whatever it is that you're doing to binge, remind yourself right then and there that, hey, this is okay. I have an eating disorder. This is what I should be doing. I know I'm going to feel bad tomorrow. Prepare yourself. I'm going to feel horrible tomorrow, but that's okay. It's okay to feel bad. But it's not okay to restrict again because of it. That's not going to get us out of that cycle, right? Oh my gosh, I don't like when they're all just one color.
Here's the number for you.
I get all stressed out. Okay.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
I like it when there's clear lines. Like the words. The words were easy for me. The words were good. It was very clear.
I'm so
Yeah,
confused.
there
Why
was
did
no
I leave
like,
these like this?
there was no like good or bad. It was just like words were the words. So anyway, friends, let me know what you're eating today. I sing a lot.
No. This person said, my tummy is so bloated after eating a big piece of salmon and rice. I feel like vomiting so bad.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Your stomach bloating is, first of all, it's a normal thing that happens to even normal eaters after they eat. Bloat is normal, and it is what happens to our stomach.
It's been happening to me a lot lately. I think
Yeah.
it's just because I've been like mindlessly eating for a while.
Yeah, and that's okay. It happens. It happens to everybody. It's a normal thing. It feels really awful and abnormal to us because we're not used to it, because we're coming from a point of restriction where we're not really eating enough. So first realize that it's normal even in non-eating disordered people. That is normal. That is the end goal. Eat, bloat some, right? And second of all, you have an eating disorder. So you're going to bloat and be in pain after you eat more than the normal person, okay? Probably. And that's because your hormones are all messed up and your neurotransmitters are all messed up and food is moving slower in your body than it would in somebody else's. So it's just sitting there. Your digestive enzymes aren't used to getting in there and chewing up that food, so they're taking a little while to be activated. So everything is just kind of slower. The cats are literally shitting. So everything is moving a little bit slower.
You had to announce that.
So you are going to bloat more, and you kind of have to come to a place where you just accept it, right? Where you're just like, this is part of recovery. Recovery's not easy, it's not fun, it's painful, and it sucks. And part of recovery is after I eat, I'm going to feel yucky, I'm going to bloat, and my stomach's going to hurt. So what can I do? What can I do to feel better? There's not a lot you can do to make it go away. But you can try to make yourself feel better, right? You can use warm packs on it, You can have some nice tea, or you can just watch some Netflix and distract yourself with a good movie or things like that.
Oh, you find me this one?
But maybe that looks kind of fine.
It's not.
But restricting afterwards is just going to make your stomach bloat even more the next time. So you just want to make sure that that's not what you do. Does anybody else have a massive Christmas-sized tub for their...
Why every single time you grab that tub, you talk shit on one thing? Look at Loki.
Help me out.
Can you see him?
Yeah, help me figure out which one.
Well, it's mainly green with yellow. This one looks green with yellow,
Yeah,
right?
it does. Yeah,
Okay,
it does.
so
Yeah,
it's
it does.
probably that one. Good job.
Yay!
Woohoo.
So I got to a point where I just laughed at my bloat, and I was just like, this is ridiculous. And let me tell you, my bloat came with gas and gas pain and stinky stuff, and it was disgusting. And
It was fucking horrible.
Eva would just leave the room and go downstairs. She would just literally leave.
As she should.
Yeah, I mean, it was really bad. But also, I was just I would just laugh at it. I would just be like, this is the most ridiculous thing. There's nothing I could do about it. It's huge. And then sometimes I couldn't laugh. Sometimes I would lay on a ball on my bed, curled up in the fetal position, and cry. It would hurt so bad. And I would actually debate going to the ER. It would hurt so bad. But it will pass.
I think this one might be
But
yours.
it won't pass if you keep restricting, right? Because then you're just going to have to go through it again and again and again, and it's going to get worse and worse. So just when you're in that pain and when it feels like it's lasting forever, no, the one thing that will make it last forever is if you give in and use behaviors. Then it will keep lasting. So the only way to get through it is to actually sit with it and let it pass. This is really hard.
Steven's on the way. Someone
Yay.
said, your shirt is so cute. I ate a bagel this
Oh
morning.
my gosh, thank you. I love my shirt. Oh my gosh, look at I literally look like bread. Wait, let's see if I can do it right. Oh, look. Look at your face. You're so over me. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love this shirt. I wore it to school one day, and all the second graders, when I walked in the classroom, were like, Kawaii bread, I like it. They're all excited with the
Kawaii bread?
Yeah.
Jessica's here. She
Hi,
said,
Jessica.
I was hoping for a live this weekend. Hey.
Hey.
Here we
Hi.
are.
What are you going to have with us? We're puzzling as well. Although I'm not the best puzzler.
It's okay. You don't have to be. It's not like it's a timed event.
No, I do get flustered.
Doing puzzles?
A little bit, yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know why I
This
get
person
frustrated.
said, "Hi, not doing good."
Oh, I'm sorry you're not doing good. I mean, that's okay. We still
You
love
don't have
you.
to be
We're still
doing
here
good.
for you. There was many, many times in my 3 years of recovery I was not doing good. I can understand. You don't have to do good every day. You just have to keep going, you know? And it's horrible. And some days are really, really rough. And some days you just want to run back. But you can't. You have to keep moving forward. I don't know about this. I don't know.
I am drinking a
Fill
huckleberry
the top
green tea frappe from
Ooh.
City Brew, and it is so good.
You are?
Yes.
I thought you were reading that from somebody. Oh, you used to get those a long time ago.
I know. And I went to Petco and PetSmart today. They were selling black lab puppies in the back of PetSmart, which was kind of sketchy.
Aw,
But it was really loud and annoying.
that is kind of sketchy.
I know, right?
I looked on Target today to see if they had puzzle mats for you.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, all they had were
Did you
those
check
like
maybe,
foam
like,
mats that are
Michael's?
alphabet letters that kids put together.
I-
No, because Target is
I
where
have
could
been
just go
seriously
pick it up.
considering getting that as a rug.
The cats would destroy it in a
Yeah,
heartbeat.
that's true. I didn't really think about
It would be like your under the door foam,
that. Yeah.
right?
This person said, "I eat so much and feel so bloated, plus I have constipation, so it's so bad and not comfortable."
Oh, I know. That is so painful. Ugh. I am so sorry. I mean, I'm just proud of you that you're eating enough to have constipation, right? That you're actually eating enough to have bloat. It's so hard when it gets so painful and it hurts and it's big and it's stiff and it's awful. And nobody quite understands. It's hard for people to understand because it's not like your normal constipation. It's not like your normal bloat. It's like multiplied exponentially.
Hey, Booger, you want to come up?
It's awful. And like, I am hesitant to be like, I feel like a lot of people would be like, oh, have this kind of
Steven's almost
tea.
here.
Have this kind of like, I don't know, what do you call them? Digestive enzymes or blah, blah, blah. But for me, all of those things were very disordered in my eating disorder. I would like down the digestive enzymes. Do you remember how many teas I had in the house?
Yes.
I had like
You're an enormous amount
a
of tea.
million types of teas.
And you wouldn't even drink them half the time.
It was just enormous. And so for me, when people would say to do those kind of things to help my bloat or to help my gas or to help my whatever, constipation, it was like I really fought going that route because it just felt disordered again. I was really afraid it was going to trigger some sort of like disordered stuff. And then it was just going to be a downhill spiral. So I just really had to like sit with all of that bloaty, yucky, painful stuff. And it sucked. But I do know it helps a lot of people. Other people do say digestive enzymes help. I don't know. For me, they were very disordered. The only time I ever took them was in the midst of my disorder. So not something I could do.
Can someone get the food?
Yeah, I will.
I'm killing it. at this
Jessica
puzzle.
said, "I'm getting ready for sleep, but I had a cheese quesadilla for lunch and some ice cream and cookie."
Ooh, yum. Aw, have a nice rest. Oh, our McDonald's is here. Woo-hoo.
Can you also hand me my tissues?
I feel like we should have way more than one bag, so that kind of makes me nervous. How about
Does it
you?
look like the heavy bag?
I guess we'll
This one
find
might
out.
also
We
be
can have
yours.
another one out.
It's often a big surprise, you know?
What the heck?
Uh-oh.
It's not. And all that's in that is drinks.
Oh, okay. So let's reorder.
But they're not hungry.
Well,
right
I'm
now.
super glad that my drink is here.
That's annoying. How the hell does someone just forget an entire
I
bag?
don't know. Would you tell the Uber people? There's a little app. And we'll just have some drinks while we wait. I mean, like, the best thing to come out of COVID, honestly, is Uber. But also, it does have its downside, but I'll take it because...
Let me go scout it out one more time.
Okay.
I'm having a hard time believing it.
All right, Eva, go scout it out.
Okay. Oh,
Check it out.
connect me to Steven. No, I don't want to bother him.
We're also, like, I really, oh,
I'm
yay!
so hungry.
Oh, then you're going to be extra hungry.
Do you want to check for snacks?
No.
All right.
Alright.
Oh, now we got to, like,
Okay,
write
so
our
we're
orders in
missing
again.
literally all of our food.
Yeah. All right, well, this is liquid calories. Here's your drink, Eva.
So, to
don't
be
want
clear, we only got an orange high C and a Diet Coke and a medium frozen Fanta.
Yep.
I said I don't want it right now.
You can put the tub on the ground.
I will. I will. I've
Oh my god, do I really have to do this for all, like, 15 items? I literally have to do this for each individual dipping sauce. Is that why you made me do it?
No. This is absolutely delicious. Although I'm going to have a
How
brain
you
freeze
like
in
those
10 seconds
things.
flat.
It tastes like plastic.
So,
I will only ever have a caramel apple freeze ever again.
so on my last, I did get a frozen head.
Look at George. Look.
Hi, George. So, on my last,
Oh my god, look.
full day of eating, I was talking about the fact that
I need to get out first.
I had mental hunger that day, which I haven't had in a long time. I mean, I get mental hunger in the way that I'll start thinking about food when I want to eat food again, when I start getting hungry. But this day, I had eaten a bunch of food, and then we made barbecue chicken and rice and
Rice Krispie treats,
peas. Yeah. And we had all those things.
Is the food coming?
Yeah, we're going to have to reorder it after we tell them it didn't come. So it's going to be a few minutes. I don't know.
You can look for food.
But, so anyway, on that video, I was saying that I had mental hunger. Oh, guys, I made these dairy-free last night. Oh, look at that.
They're delicious.
Where did my tissues
Lucy,
go?
Lucy,
Where did my
smile with
tissues
me.
go? No, where did my tissues go?
Oh, I put them somewhere. I mean,
Wait.
like, they're right there.
Where? Under the pallets. Or not the pallets, the canvases.
So,
Okay, now I'll smile.
okay.
Especially with Loki. Look, 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 look. And George. Mom,
Sorry. So,
are you kidding me? I thought we were going to take a picture and smile like you told me to 2 seconds ago.
oh, look at, okay.
That is enough. That is too much. No.
I have tears. I have little tears. All right.
This is weird. This texture is different than the other ones. Sorry guys, I don't have COVID.
Anyway, at the bottom of my video, someone commented about me eating that food at the end of the night, giving in to my mental hunger. And kind of said, that's weird. Why didn't you just eat it the next day? That's a very interesting question. And I suppose maybe there will come a time when that is safe for me. But honestly, I have an eating disorder predisposition, switch, whatever you want to call it, in my head. And because of that, I have certain things that I have to do to make sure that it never gets triggered. One of which is to never ignore my mental hunger ever again for the rest of my life. Oh my god, they're fighting back here.
Of course they are.
So, I suppose a normal person at the end of the night could be like, oh yeah, I'm full, even though I really want that mentally, I'll just wait and have it tomorrow. Although barbecue chicken for me is never as good the next day.
Uh-oh.
So, I just wanted to clarify that if you are not if you don't have an eating disorder predisposition in your head, it might be perfectly fine and safe for you not to eat that food at the end of the night. However, if like me, you have
I want a caramel sundae. That sounds so good.
if like me, oh, remember those? You have the eating disorder in your head.
Eva, what did you get?
I can just do it.
Okay. And you just got a Big Mac?
Big Mac, no cheese.
Okay.
Did you get mine?
Yes.
Oh, I got something else. What did I get? Oh, my drink.
You got a drink.
Yeah. I was gonna get fries, but honestly, I think a Big Mac's gonna be good with all those Rice Krispie treats.
I wanted to try a bite. When you get it.
They're amazing. I'm gonna make them for treat day next week. I'm gonna make them like all the time. They're so good and they're soft and they're delicious.
There's a hair.
Really?
Good thing I don't care.
That's it? How could you just have a bite?
I don't like Rice Krispie treats that much. I just wanted to try them.
I ate pretty much a tray.
Yeah, no.
No, I didn't. I ate a row. Interestingly, when I made it, I looked at that little tray and I thought I was gonna eat the whole tray.
I know, I remember seeing that on your story.
Yeah, but then after about 3 pieces, I did not feel the need. So you think all our food is still sitting at McDonald's in a bag?
Or in that guy's car.
Or maybe someone else got it.
Well, yeah, maybe he had 2 orders and he gave us 1 and the other guy 2 bags. Go to checkout again.
That's pretty funny, and I'm doing really good on this puzzle. I wish you guys could see it.
Okay.
Alright.
Try this again.
Okay. So, if you're completely full at the end of the night and someone makes barbecue chicken, other people might be able to wait till the next day, but you, my friend, need to eat it. Well, I'm not very good. I just like, there's complete chance that I get one.
I know. Because you literally, you were holding this one and putting it here as if this could fit here in any way to make sense. Because, like, if you did it this way, that also doesn't make any sense.
That's funny. I wonder if I could make it so they could see. Well, because I think you'd have to do it more than 90
I don't
degrees and it
think
would fall on
so.
its face.
I don't think so. There we
Kinda.
go, look.
Oh, look at that.
Perfect.
You can kind of see a
Move your gross
puzzle.
drink out of the way.
It's not gross.
I don't like it. Too much sugar.
What if my bread drank it?
Oh my god.
Okay.
You are too much.
Did we get that ordered?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't,
Thank you.
Don't fret.
Okay.
It's on the way.
All right. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, I forgot what we were doing. Let's look.
You just thought we were puzzling galore?
Yeah.
Remember
This
Shopkins
person said,
galore?
I want to get on my exercise bike but feel so lazy.
Oh, I am so happy that you said that. I'm so happy that you feel lazy. Like, the fact that you don't want to get on it and the fact that you feel lazy are both huge recovery steps, because that means that your real brain is starting to come out and you can actually feel what your real self wants to do. And I mean, honestly, why do you even have an exercise bike? I have one and I have a stuffed animal sitting on it. That's the extent of my exercise bike right now. His name is Bubbles and he's like the mascot of the house right now.
Oh.
Yeah, he's really cute. He was the mascot in my airplane and now he's the mascot.
In your airplane?
Yeah, my rental van.
Oh.
Yeah. So please, you know,
Good
when
boy.
I got an exercise bike like a year into recovery, and I should not have. I begged my husband for it. He gave it to me for my birthday.
I was so mad.
And
I was so incredibly
I
upset.
thought I was well enough to get one. I thought I
You're
was
not.
ready. Every day I got on that fucking thing, and every day I had to go like longer than I went the day before. It was like this trap. It was horrible, and I knew I had to get rid of it. But I remember asking Eva, do you remember this? When I asked you to take the plug and hide it?
Mm-hmm.
And I had Eva take the plug to the exercise bike and hide it until, and then I was too afraid to tell my husband actually that I couldn't have it. And so I made him go to therapy with me. And I had my therapist tell him that I shouldn't have an exercise bike, which was pretty sad because he was terrified. Because, I mean, why do you go to therapy with someone? It's usually for a really bad reason. So he
no shit.
I know, so he probably thought like something horrible, like I was going to confess some horrible thing or like I wanted a divorce or something. And instead, my therapist was like, she really shouldn't have an exercise bike. And he's just like, okay, why don't you tell me? We'll get rid of that damn thing today. It's like, oh my God.
It does not look like it's supposed to go there.
So anyway, the fact that you feel lazy, hold on to that feeling because that is your real body's feeling coming out, right? Your body's been starving and it's been moving slow, way too much than it should. And so it's finally trying to like come out and say, please stop, please let me rest, please let me rest, you know?
Tired.
And so listen to it and rest. Watch a good movie, but don't watch Antlers because that movie was kind of bad. But we watched a really funny movie last night. Yeah, Antlers. It was about, it was a scary movie, but does that go together? No. Yeah, no. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think if you would have really paid attention, maybe, but we kind of weren't like, you know, when you put a movie on because you think you're going to watch a movie, but really you don't get off your phone.
Yeah, that's
you know,
all the time.
Eva was playing her like game, I don't know if she was playing Sims or League or whatever, but she was playing that, and I was literally on my phone, so we weren't really paying attention. So, but it wasn't very good. But like, put a movie on and watch a movie. What a gift to your body instead of getting on that bike, you know. And I would ask a loved one to throw the cord away to that bike also because it's on your brain and that means anorexia is going to start asking you to do it and you should not be on that bike. Your body obviously wants to rest and relax and hey, oh my God, look how many, I thought I was almost done and it goes up and up and up.
This person said, I've got cats as well. Love the cats. Thanks. I know. This person said, what is the puzzle of?
Can you see it? It's massive.
I'm actually kind of upset about it because I got this one because I was like, oh my gosh, cute plants. It's succulents, which is not my favorite, but that's okay. And so then literally the next time I go to the store, I see the plant version.
Maybe she could too. Oh, no, I don't want to put another one together. No. But see the words on the bottom? That's my favorite part to do. Why are we shh? She can't. She's waiting. I'm talking to you.
George! Or not George, Loki. Will you move? Please?
How?
Just scoot back. There's room for you to scoot back. No. There you go. Okay. Thank you.
There's a cat in trouble. Watch out. Watch out. She is a great cat mom. What's she doing?
I don't know, but I heard Molly hissing.
Aww.
So where should I manure?
Okay.
No, naughty boy.
Aggressive.
Oh, sorry.
Alright.
This person said, is it okay to eat everything I'm thinking of, even if I don't have extreme physical hunger?
It is imperative for your recovery that you eat everything that you're thinking of, even if you don't have physical hunger. Because when you have an eating disorder, your physical hunger cues are not working correctly, okay? So your neurotransmitters and your hormones are all flipped in the wrong direction. And because of that, your hunger and fullness cues, you know, your leptin falls and all these other neurotransmitters have this like cascading event and they all turn in the wrong way so that you don't want to eat fats or you're afraid of fats and high calorie foods and you get full quickly when you eat something. And so all of these signals are going on in your body that aren't quite what they should be, okay? But your ghrelin remains high, and so you have this kind of like background hunger. So that's why you have to listen to your mental hunger, because your mental hunger is like giving you a true scale of what you need to eat when your body can't give you that. Right now, your body can't give you those real hunger and fullness cues. You can't trust it. Not only that, but you're going to go through, unless you've already gone through it, the extreme hunger phase where you eat an entire pizza and you still want another one, right? And when you eat that entire pizza, your stomach is going to be bloated and full, and your stomach is going to hurt, and your brain is going to be like, ooh, but that was pepperoni, and now I really want a cheese pizza, or now I really want ice cream, right? And so it's really important that you feed that mental hunger, because when your brain is thinking of food and you don't feed it, your brain is going to associate that with still being in a famine environment, right? And we're trying to get your brain to think you're not in a famine environment anymore, because you're not. You've taught your brain you're in a famine by not feeding it, by essentially creating an artificial famine within your body. So the only way to get it out of this artificial famine is to prove that it's not in one anymore. So that means when it's physically hungry, when it's mentally hungry, when you have a bad, crappy day and you want to eat ice cream, when you're at a birthday party and you want birthday cake, under any and all of those circumstances, you need to feed your body. And then eventually, your mental hunger won't happen as much, you know? I mean, on my full day of eating that I just put up yesterday, the day before, I went through just that. I ate what I felt like was a lot of food for me in a day, you know. I had like, I don't know, pancakes and a sandwich and this and that and cookies and I don't know, I think I had chips and candy and chocolate and on and a burrito. And then like even after all of that, we made a little meal and I was not physically hungry, but I mentally wanted it. It was something that I mentally wanted. And I, for me, feed my mental hunger because I have an eating disorder history. And so I just think that's really important for anyone with an eating disorder history, you know, no matter how far along in recovery you are. Maybe in 10 years, I'll be able to be like, nah, I know I might feel too full after I eat that, so maybe I won't have it. But now I just err on the side of caution and I give my body what it's asking for, whether it be mentally, emotionally, physically, or any which way. What about you?
Oh, now Randall's on the way.
What about you? If
If
you ate a bunch of food, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then after you ate all that food, you were very full, and then you like came over and I had made crepes or something, and you love crepes. Would you have one?
Love crepes.
Or would you be like, nah, I'll have it tomorrow?
I don't know. It depends on how full I am.
So yeah, it probably depends on a lot of factors for you. How full
Yeah.
you are, if your stomach's hurting or not, how good the crepes are smelling, like probably a lot of things.
If they're made with vegan butter.
But for me, I don't even give it a second thought. My brain wanted it, I ate it. I just do. Because I don't want to play around with my eating disorder genetic predisposition that's up there, you know? So I hope that made some sense. I'm excited Randall's on the way.
Me too.
Randall's on the way. I don't know why I have to sing everything.
Neither do I. Okay. This person said, thing is for me is the scales in the mirror all the time. I'm checking my legs, etc.
The scales in the mirror?
Yes.
Yeah. So, a couple things. One,
These are yours too, I think.
let's get rid of the scale, right? I mean, it took me 2 years into recovery to get rid of my scale, and actually it broke. That's how I got rid of it. And it was giving me the red E's, the error messages when I get on it, and I'd be so pissed off, and it would take like 3 or 4 times just to get a reading. And I remember telling do you want to hear something really messed up?
Sure.
Okay. I once went to my doctor,
Mm-hmm.
and I vented for like 10 minutes because I was like, explain to me this. Your scale says this amount, but when I go to the gym, it's like 1 pound more. But when I go to like Walmart or something, it's like a half a pound less.
Sound like a Karen.
And then when I go to my mom's house, it's like this. Which scale is really true? Is your scale true? And I like kind of went off about all the scales being.
Of course you did.
I know, insanity. And she was probably just like crazy.
She's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I know. She knew what was wrong with me. But anyway, so I know how important those numbers are and how hard it is to disengage from them. Absolutely. And so you're going to have to get to a point, hopefully, where you can get rid of that scale. I don't know how many times you get on it. I mean, for me, it was like 10 times a day I was on that thing. It was, oh, you have an eyelash right here. Look how cute.
Oh, I think this is when I wanted to come out.
So, first of all, that's going to have to be kind of like in the back of your mind as something that maybe we eventually tackle, right? And when you do that, you're going to find that you do seek out all those other skills. I would like go weigh myself at my mom's. I would go weigh myself at the gym. I would weigh myself anywhere else that I could. And eventually it slows down, right? Because you don't have access to it at home. So you're going to do it a little less. And when it comes to looking at yourself in the mirror, looking at your thigh gap, looking at your bones and things like that, I want you to remember, when you look at yourself in the mirror and you see something that you think is getting bigger or you think is changing in a way that anorexia is not happy with, because let's be real, when you're looking in the mirror and you're seeing that thigh gap disappear, it's not you that's like freaking out. It's your eating disorder that's freaking out because it's losing a little bit of grip and hold, okay? So you have to remember, your eating disorder is telling you, oh, you got to get that thigh gap back, you know, and it makes you feel safe, it makes you feel good, it makes you feel wonderful, you've got to have that, it makes you feel right, it makes you feel strong, it makes you feel better than, all of those things. It makes you feel comfortable, it makes you feel safe, all the stuff that it's feeding you. Stop for a minute and think about if that's the truth. When you were really, really at your sickest, I don't know if that's now or if that was a year ago or 2 months ago or whenever it was, are you happy? Are you, do you go to bed at night and think what a wonderful day it was? Right? Did that thigh gap, give you meaningful time out with your friends? Right? Did you have a nice conversation with your mom or dad or kids today? Did it give you permission to eat something yummy and have some milk and sugar in your coffee, right? No. So you have to remember what comes with that thigh gap, with those bones showing, because they're not just independent things on their own. They might be for someone who has a super skinny body naturally, right? Which is very few people. But for that person, maybe they just get that naturally. That's not you, and that's not me. So for you or for me, what that comes with is all the shit that your eating disorder brings, right? Unhappiness, crying, dreaming of food, like waking up in the middle of the night with sweating, thinking you ate something from your dreams, your hair's falling out, people are mad at you because you're literal bitchy, hangry all the time, you're losing your friends, your family is mad at you, they're having caretaker fatigue from trying to take care of you, like all of this stuff is happening to you. You're cold all the time, you can't have food that you really want to have, there's no freedom, you're calculating all the time in your head. All of that shit comes with that thigh gap or those bones sticking out or whatever it is that you're looking at. So when you go by the mirror and you see that and you're like, oh, but I want that. Oh, but that felt good. Do it. Fact check that. Did that feel good? Does that really, truly feel good? No, it did not feel good. It came with all of that shit and it felt horrible. On the other hand, what is it going to mean when you get into a recovered body, even if it's a larger body? What are you doing this for? What is recovery going to bring you? Okay, you'll be in a bigger body. You will. But what's going to come with that bigger body? You're not going to be a bitch all the time because you're not going to be hangry all the time. Your hair is going to grow. You're going to stop getting facial hair. You're not going to be as cold, right? You're going to be a genuinely happier person. So people are going to actually want to be around you instead of not want to be around you. You're going to be able to go out places and have meals with people. You're going to be able to have fun drinks and get McDonald's delivered and all of those things without guilt and shame in your head. That's what recovery brings. And so, do you really want a thigh gap if it comes with all of those horrible things? No. You want the bigger body with all of those wonderful things. But the thing is, when you split second look at it in the mirror, you're not thinking of all those other things. you're just thinking of that split second moment of that thigh gap, and your first thought comes from not you, it comes from anorexia, and it's, ooh, I want that back. Ooh, that's nice. You have to stop and fact check that every single time it happens. You can't leave that thought alone in your head. You can't. So every time you walk by a mirror, and at first for me, it was like 15 times a day, every time I walk by a mirror, every time I see my reflection at work, I would think those thoughts, and then I'd have to stop and be like, okay, but was it really good? But was that really was that skinny body? Did it bring me happiness? Was it good on me? No, it was not. So you need to remember that, and you need to go down that little train of thought every single time. And let me know when you get rid of that scale.
This person said, what did you order?
I'm ordering a Big Mac. And I didn't order fries, but I'm kind of regretting it now that I didn't order fries. I know. That's okay. I can always get fries later.
Someone said it's making me feel really guilty. I don't know what else you said though, so maybe say it again. This person said, I noticed I've been going through food phases. For a while it was cheese. So
I love the food phases. Cheese is a good one to have too. Luckily, I went through my cheese and then putting real cream and real whipping cream. I went through that phase before I had to go dairy free, so that was really good. Otherwise, I'm not sure. It would have been really hard to recover having all those cravings and trying to fill them with dairy free shit.
Yeah.
That would be really hard. But that's a good phase to be in. And cheese is like, oh my God, it's so good. God, I love cheese. Tell me what your favorite cheese is. What's your favorite cheese?
Depends.
Like those Christmas cheeses?
Ricotta cheese.
Ricotta is good. I miss cheese so much. Cottage cheese was my first recovery for your
I
food.
hate cottage cheese.
It was my first recovery for
Randall
your food.
has arrived, he says.
Randall's here. Was that our same driver from before?
No.
Oh.
The last one was Steven, I think.
Oh, Steven. Steven's eating our burgers, right?
Probably. Okay. This person said, now after that salmon and rice, I'm going to have a little pudding. Not hungry, but feel like it.
Yum. I used to not feel the need to eat something sweet after dinner and stuff. Papa always does. He'll get up from the dinner table and walk right to the sugar cupboard.
What?
Papa.
For what?
Every time after he eats dinner, he would stand up and walk right to the sugar cupboard and get something to eat. I don't know, cookies, candy, something, chocolate. And I was always like, that's so weird. But now I'm really on the same way too. I'm like, ooh, what can I have sweet now?
Yeah.
I think most people are. Maybe it's something that's wired in us or something.
Someone said, how long have you been in recovery?
I started recovery in 2017. And I would say it took me 3 years to be fully recovered. So I've been recovered I would say I've been fully recovered for about 1.5 years or so. My therapist would probably say I was fully recovered a lot before then. But I think another problem in the community is a lot of people are really afraid to say they're recovered. A lot of people get really nervous.
Thank you.
I don't know if this is yours.
It is. Thank you. What?
A lot of people
from?
get really nervous to say, "Oh, that must have fallen out of the bag."
Oh, you did find it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
A lot of people get really nervous to say that they've reached full recovery. Oh, this is more like it. Sorry, dude.
It's okay.
Whoa, this long sauce. Is that you? What did you get, Liz?
A burger and 2 cookies.
Okay, well, there's no shortage of McDonald's bags around here now.
Great.
Oh, look. There's a couple of fries.
This person said, this is kind of along the same lines. One person said, when you go to the doctor, do you get weighed now? Do you weigh yourself at home? And then this person also said, I'm so scared they're going to weigh me at the doctor's next week. I don't want to see it.
You know, one time I showed up to my doctor appointment when I was sick, and the nurse goes, okay, turn around. The doctor said you have to turn around now when you weigh. And it was after my scale broke, and I was like, what? And I was literally dressed in my thinnest clothing, because whenever I'd go to the doctors, I'd always wear my thinnest clothing to try to be the absolute smallest weight I could be. And so I was so pissed off and mortified that I couldn't actually be weighed there like I wanted to be, to like feed my eating disorder, whatever. But so that was pretty funny.
Ow.
So my doctor actually stopped weighing me first, but then I go to a neurologist, and I had started advocating for myself and asking not to be weighed, and the lady was a little bit annoyed, and then she wrote my weight down on a piece of paper, and when she left the room, she put the piece of paper right facing me. And I was so pissed off that I went back to my doctor and I told her. My doctor called that office and got all mad at him. So anyway, I spent a long time being blind weighed. If I went somewhere new, I would not even tell them. I would just step on backwards, right? You don't have to say anything. Just step on backwards. They're going to get the hint. So
you're going to weigh the same either way.
Yeah, so I don't... that neurologist, that first time, I was like, oh, I prefer to be weighed backwards. I have an eating disorder. I think I literally said that. I was in my trying to own it phase. But then, every time I go anywhere, I would just step on backwards, and people would just be like, whatever. I've never had anybody be weird about it or anything. And I did that for years, probably 2 years. And now...
Oh, hi, little boy. I didn't even know you were there.
Go ahead.
Hi.
And now, I do get weighed.
I forgot milk.
I don't weigh myself at home. I don't even own a scale. Do you own a scale? No.
I've never purchased a scale in my life.
No, we don't own a scale. But I do get weighed at the doctor's, and I
I'm
don't worry
scared
about
you
it.
would get mad at me if I bought a
I
scale.
probably would get mad at you, Bosco. I got mad at Eva because her Sims person I told her was too skinny.
Well, this is kind of body shaming, but okay.
I said, I'm not going to look at your skin, your Sims human until you put the weight on her. But anyway, now I don't even take my boots off. I don't even put my phone down. I just get on the scale with all that stuff because truthfully, it honestly
Which is so
doesn't.
funny to me.
But it doesn't even matter. They write that number down. What are they going to use it for? Like, look, they're not giving me, like, the kind of medicines that you dose particularly to, like, kilograms, or what do you call them, like, to specific pounds that are, like, related to your weight. I mean, the medicines we take, like Tylenol, whatever, would be, like, adult dose, children's dose. It's not like anybody's dosing me anything based on my weight. Mm-hmm. They're just doing it because they've done it since the medical profession started. So I just get on it with my boots. Sometimes I even have my bag over my shoulder.
It actually looks kind of yummy.
Well, let's look at mine next to it. Let's do it. Let's do a reveal.
No, let's not.
Yeah, I want to make mine pretty. Let's put my... Ready? You smile with me.
Where are the sauces? Louisa, can you toss me a hot mustard?
Yeah.
What do we think? How is it? Oh, look.
How
bread,
many do you have
bread.
right now?
Just one that's empty.
Oh, okay, that's the last hot mustard.
Oh, man.
I know.
All right. I love a Big Mac.
I wish I would have gotten
So-
a Big Mac, but that would have been way too much food.
So long story short, I do get weighed. But I don't care what it is. But I would suggest, unless you're like really strong in your recovery, that you don't. Because there's no reason to. And every time I was weighed when I was sick, I would just spiral. It was horrible. It was definitely triggering for me. Different things are triggering for everybody, and that was one of mine. I love dancing with food.
This person said, I never eat chocolate because I feel like I don't want it, but I feel like I sabotage myself and actually want it because I always binge on chocolate if it's there. Do you have any advice?
I would suggest you add chocolate to every meal and see what happens. I mean, if you're binging on something, the number one way to get over that is to add that binge food to the day. So like I used to night eat on certain foods. Every night I'd wake up and eat those certain foods. And the only way to get over that was to eat those foods during the day many times a day. And so I would be really curious to see what would happen if you allowed yourself chocolate multiple times a day, every day. It's wonderful for you. And if you have an eating disorder, it's literally medication for you. Chocolate is pure medication. So I would have it breakfast, noon, and night. In the middle of the day as a snack. In cocoa forms, in cake forms, in bar forms. Man, chocolate comes in a lot of forms.
It does.
And I would bet your binging of it would reduce. But it's going to take a while. So don't be afraid when you're eating chocolate all day and then you still binge on it. That's going to cross over for a while. It always does. It's going to cross over. And the only way to get the binge part to fall off is if you keep steady on eating it throughout the day, every day.
This person said, are you fully recovered?
Yes. Yes, I am.
This person said, enjoy your McDonald's. I thought American burgers were much bigger than here in the UK, but it don't look it.
No, I know. You know what's funny? I said this once on a live or on somewhere, but I remember Big Macs being so big I could hardly eat a full one. And now a Big Mac, I can eat 2 of them. They're just not that big anymore. And somebody told me that that McDonald's reduced the size of their patty by 20% or something. They didn't reduce the chicken sandwich. That looks really good.
This person said, I'm in such a McDonald's phase right now. My favorite.
Ooh. Do you have any secret menu hacks that's not the surf and turf? You know what I miss? I miss McDonald's pancake. Well, I can't eat them anymore anyway. But I miss their all the stuff they have for breakfasts all the time.
I miss being able to get breakfast all day.
I know, you can't just give us that and then take it away.
Yeah. I mean, technically they can.
Yeah, well, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just feel like that was a dupe, man. Don't do that to me and then take it away.
Yeah.
Not cool.
This person said, did having an ED affect your family? Did you feel guilty?
Did it affect my family, though?
No. Y'all just pretended that it wasn't there.
George! Evan,
Oh,
do you think
lovey.
that my eating disorder affected the family?
Yeah.
How so?
I don't know.
It absolutely affected the family because it affects your ability to be genuinely with people. So if I were with the kids and we were having any sort of food, or even if we weren't having food, all day long, I couldn't think about them. I couldn't have a conversation. My mind was always on what I ate, what I didn't eat, what I was going to eat later, what they were eating, what they ate yesterday, what they're eating, tomorrow. Am I going to get to eat it? No, I'm not going to get to eat it. Did I go to the gym? How many times did I go to the gym, right? That's all I could think about. And so I was miserable. I was horrible. And eventually, Eva and my husband just quit talking to me pretty much. We didn't even have that many conversations. And I mean, we didn't have conversations either, but Lou would now and then get mad at me and tell me to eat and yell at me and talk shit about me. But that's not a relationship, right? And so it was awful. It was absolutely it absolutely affected everyone in my family. And my husband says the best part of recovery for him is the fact that he can have a conversation with me again. Because what they really want to talk to you about when you're sick is how to help you get better. But if they even would bring up food, all I would do is scream and yell and tell them that I'm just dieting and being healthy, and why don't they diet and be healthy too and leave me alone, So I I don't think it's possible to have. In fact, it is not possible to have an eating disorder and not affect your family. It is a family disease. It's not a single person disease. I mean, it's up to the single person to deal with it, to fight it, right? But as far as what it doesn't just affect a single person. It affects everybody around that person.
Someone said squeaky cheese, but I don't understand what that's in reference to.
Squeaky cheese.
This person said, protect Lou at all costs, keep them away from ED demons. Good thing for some reason they do not want to fuck with me.
No, they tried. Okay, I'm getting frustrated
Me too.
at my choice of cactuses.
Should we trade?
What are you working on?
This one? This one?
Okay. Oh, there's someone in the TV.
What? Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna just scoot your chair back.
I keep thinking I'm at the wall. Ow! Oh.
Oh, you are low.
I know. Whoa, this is a whole different vibe. All right. Here's your burger.
Thank you. Will you grab me my cookies?
Absolutely.
Oh, I can also do my bills while we're here, too.
All right.
Ooh, feels
Oh,
warm.
yeah.
They're still warm.
I feel so
Holy
sad.
moly, they gave me 4.
I feel so sad when I look back to all the time that I spent thinking that my eating disorder did not affect my kids. You know, I used to think because I was like not using behaviors or, you know, because I was able to put like a little veggies on my plate or sit with them while they ate or whatever it was, or put food on my plate and throw it away later, I felt like it didn't affect them. And a lot of parents feel that way because the guilt is just too much, right? But also, I feel like recognizing how much it affects the people around you and then finally admitting that to them and letting them in is like huge, huge to help you get through recovery.
You can smell the onions from here. It's disgusting.
What onions?
And your burger.
I have onions?
I can smell them. This person said, how do we know when we are well on our way in recovery or recovered? Oh my gosh, that's cute. Look how they spell that with the EDs capitalized.
Very cute. Well, I guess, let's see.
Oh, Mom, you're doing good.
Thank you.
This one I don't think goes here, though. Because the lines are completely different angles.
How I knew I was well on my way, like for real, that I knew I wasn't going back this time, that I knew it was really going to happen, was because I became bluntly open with it. And so it cannot survive unless it's in the dark, in secrets, right? And that's why we never want to tell people. That's why we feel like we're not sick enough. We're not worthy of help. We don't want help. And because once we ask for help, there's no going back. And I remember telling, when I finally was open with my family, and I remember the first exact time I ever told you I had a problem. And once you do that, there is no going back, right? Then you do have to just keep moving forward. And so I feel like once I told my family, yes, I have an eating disorder. I absolutely have anorexia. I have a problem.
And everybody was like, no shit. We've been new.
True.
Tell us something we don't know.
True. And so, yeah, I feel like that is when I knew for sure. And not right then, but like once I started like eating the fear foods little by little, you know, gaining weight little by little, it was excruciating and I wanted to run back and I didn't want to do it and I was only doing it for the kids. But I also knew I had no choice. At that point, once everyone knew, it was game over and I just had to. So that's how I knew that I was really like recovering.
I'm literally doing your puzzle too.
And then I guess how I knew I was recovered was like, I mean, there comes a point in recovery when you can like, when Lou would walk in the room with something surprise food, and I would think, man, I just ate. That kind of sucks, but okay, I guess I'll do it. Okay, I don't really want it,
Lulu,
but
look
okay.
how cute
And I
I
have
am.
this conversation that I'm fighting with in my
Oh
head.
my god, do you have a horse?
It's a
And
llama.
Oh.
Now she could walk
You
in
do
with
look
any
really
sort of
cute. I like
surprise
your
food,
outfit.
and I would just be like,
Looks like
"Oh my
something you
gosh,
would wear."
thank you, delicious, yummy."
Fun.
It's like a whole outlook shift compared to what it used to be, right? The desire to get on an exercise bike is completely gone. The shame or guilt of overeating is completely gone. The thoughts of calculating food, I mean, just all of those kind of things. Now, I've been doing it for so long. Do things still pop in my head? Like, when we got this McDonald's, I have no idea how many calories are in a Big Mac. And I didn't even think about it. But there has been times when I've gotten food, and I don't know whether I've seen calories or like I remember calories, and I'll think about calories, and I'll be like, oh, I remember that has this many calories. But when I think that in my head, it's not attached to, maybe I shouldn't have it. What did I have? You know, none of those thoughts come with it. So it's almost like, it's just like a complete freedom, you know? And even when I got to that point, I was still afraid that I wasn't recovered. I still was like, so one day I just asked my therapist, what phase of recovery am I in? And she was like, you're recovered, dumbass. She didn't add the dumbass, that was mine.
I mean, I sure hope not.
I mean, she's called me dumbass many other times, but
Has she actually?
no.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
okay.
You sound a little excited over that.
No, I was just surprised.
So, yeah, I feel like if you feel like you are recovered, don't let anyone take that away from you. If you feel like you are in the safe zone and you have made it, I feel like don't let anybody take that away from you. Call yourself recovered and own it. You deserve it when you get there, you know? I hate that like this community makes you feel like you have to like pass X, Y, and Z tests, or you have to be so far out, or I don't even know. Maybe that's all in my fucking head.
Probably. This person said, you two seem very close, lovely to see. It's amazing how you both help people without expecting anything in return. Beautiful humor.
Yeah, we're very close except physically, because like if you try-
no. Not physically.
No, Lou does not like to be touched. So you'll notice if I like even go near her, they will cringe.
Those are these ones.
I get a hug every now and then.
Yeah. If I'm aware of what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
This person said, which sounds fucking disgusting, I'm sorry, but this person said McDonald's used to sell onion cheddar burgers, and they were my favorite.
Ooh,
I
I
hate
remember
onions
those.
so much.
I
Onions
think
are
I
so
remember
disgusting.
those. It was like grilled onions.
I don't
If
know.
it
I
was
don't
grilled
want to
onions,
talk
I
about
remember
it.
those.
I don't even want to invite that energy
Aw, okay.
into this space.
All right. No grilled onion burgers here.
No.
I think your neighbor's out and about. I loved your message today. I'm at home and Lou sent me a message saying, I was about to leave my house, but then my neighbor was walking down her stairs, and I never want to come face to face with my neighbor, so now I'm just waiting at my house until she leaves so I can leave.
I think she was just checking the mail, even though it literally was like noon, and she had already put a letter out there this morning. So, I don't know what the hell her problem is.
She's old. She probably lives for the
She probably
mail.
forgot. She put something in there.
Maybe. She seems very sweet.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
Mm. Oh. Oh my god, okay.
I'm struggling.
This person says, have you guys been to Dutch Bros? So good.
Yeah, we go there when we go to
I
California.
used my reward the very last day before I came back to Montana, because I completely forgot. Because I had one reward on the app. Look at him. Hi,
Yes.
boy.
Very good, but when we go to California...
I honestly have not found anything that I love there yet.
Well, and the line is always massive, but it moves very quickly.
Yeah.
Oddly.
And it's always long at weird hours of the day.
Yeah, true. Mmm.
Oh, little boy.
Good choice on my part.
He's so cute.
So, Eva and I want to watch a scary movie after this.
Oh my gosh, fun.
So if anyone has any ideas of good scary movies, let us know.
This person says, how is your relationship with your kids now? Fucking shit, honestly.
Lou, how is our relationship now?
Awful.
Eva, how's our relationship?
Amazing.
First child versus second child. It is much better. Much better. But I had to do a lot of changing, right? Because it wasn't just that I had an eating disorder. I was also very overprotective. And very
Yes, you are.
scared of everything.
Doing, I need
I
that.
was looking at those. And I just...
Those are not related to that puzzle.
Are you sure?
Yes, those will go to a completely different plan. I'm 100% positive.
And so I also had to learn how to like change a lot. And then I dived into the rap
You were
music
gonna say I
scene
died.
and came out a good friend to Lou and Ella. That's no joke either.
No, it's not.
I wholeheartedly embraced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You definitely did.
I know, the other day I was cussing and saying bad words and Papa was like, can't you say that sentence without the bad words? You can
Hell
take them
no.
out. And then I just repeated it the exact same. He's like, you don't have to say those. And I said, it lowers your blood pressure to say bad words. So I'm going to
Also
say bad
means you're a
words.
more honest person.
Where'd you hear that?
I don't know, on Instagram when I was like 13.
We should Google that.
I don't feel like it, so somebody else can.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So
It could very well be
our
for Billy
relationship
Balls
is fine
also.
now. But I've learned to
Not touch me.
we're close, but also I don't see you every day.
Almost pretty much every day.
No, you usually go to work and go home.
Yeah, but if not, I'd FaceTime you.
No, we FaceTime. But it's not like I just come over here and announce or,
Yeah, that's true.
put myself in your business or I try not to. And if I feel like it, then I just turn on the rap music and go into my own world. Me and Post Malone hang out.
Alright.
Me and Young Gravy.
Okay. It's time to move on from that subject. This person said, I think stress and depression play a big part in ED recovery for those relapsing. Weight gain is hard to accept, but we are what we are.
Say that one more time.
Okay, just listen.
I have an issue.
I know, I can tell. This person said, I think stress and depression play a big part in ED recovery for those relapsing. And then they also said, weight gain is hard to accept, but we are what we are.
Yeah. I agree that stress and depression, it's like a double-edged sword because anxiety and depression, stress, they come from an eating disorder, right? But also, eating disorders become magnificent coping skills for stress and depression. And they're calming, right? They give you that feeling of purpose and, they give you something else to focus on and they give you that next goal and they just and the behaviors or coping mechanisms. Those bread eyeballs are right on my titties.
Okay.
Look at
That was a lot. Alright.
and look at my eyeballs with them. That's pretty funny. So
You should take electrical tape and make them into eyebrows and then give him expressions.
So I 100% agree with you that so many people are cruising through recovery and then depression and anxiety and especially stressful times in their life. So many people get so close and then something super stressful happens. And of course, you have to cope. And it's your coping mechanism, right? And so it becomes really, really, really hard But also, living with an eating disorder is really, really, really hard and stressful and depressing and horrible. And so you have to keep, in those times, you have to realize that also you don't want, I'm trying to put my glasses on.
Oh, Bob.
That, I can't see the puddle this way though. So also, you have to remember that when you get rid of your eating disorder and when you get rid of your anorexia, a lot of that depression and anxiety will lift. I promise you. But if you have depression and anxiety, it's not going to completely go away. Of course not. But you're going to be so much stronger to fight. And it's going to be so much, it's like a weight is going to be lifted. And it's going to be so much easier to deal with the depression and the anxiety if you can get rid of that eating disorder. But I know what you mean, because I spent, 3 years of recovery running back every time something stressful happened, right? Because it's my coping mechanism. Every time something horrible would happen, what do I want to do? Restrict, not eat. It makes you feel better, it makes you feel good, right? It makes you feel calm, it makes you feel okay. So of course that's what you're going to do. So the whole time you're recovering, you also have to be working on new coping mechanisms and things you can do in times of stress, and be prepared that those times are going to happen. But also, I'm going to tell you right now, in all honesty, I have never found anything that works as good as an eating disorder does as stress relief or anxiety relief for me. No, never. There's nothing I've ever found that works as good as restriction or behaviors or any of those things. Nope. And that's just what is. You're just going to have to come to terms with that, right? It's like if you were using heroin and someone's like, instead of using heroin today, let's just take 5 deep breaths. It's like, or take a bath, light some candles. Okay, well, it's not going to feel as good. It's not going to do the trick. But it's all we've got, right? Because that is the alternative. And you don't want to have your eating disorder. So you are going to have to jump ship from using it as a coping mechanism and try to use something else. Even if we already know they're going to be less effective, you're just going to have to be ready to feel some shit feelings. But you're going to have to feel them so that you can move on and get out of your eating disorder. All of these are, you haven't gotten anything.
I literally have gotten this entire chunk right here.
Oh, okay.
This person said that they're in residential treatment for 2 weeks and they're having a hard time. Any advice?
So I assume that means they're like telling you what to eat and telling you what you can do and what you can't do. So my only advice would be to lean into it, You're not going to be there forever. And so while you're there, try to lean into it and just kind of give into it a little bit and see how that feels, because sometimes I feel like we get in these situations where other people are trying to refeed us and tell us what to do, and they want us to do it a certain way. And then, even though we might really want to recover down deep, we start putting up this like, no, I don't want to recover. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, because it feels like it's being forced on us. It's not something we are genuinely trying to do for ourselves. And so try to just take a step back from that and think, do you really want to recover? And I know you do. I know you do, because I know how miserable anorexia is, right? And if you don't think you want to recover, then take a moment and really think about what your eating disorder was like in reality, right? Not some like rose-colored glasses Lifetime movie view of what an eating disorder is, but really what it was like. And we both know it was absolutely miserable. And so lean into the help right now. Try to eat all the food. Try to gain all the weight, and try to use the time. Use the time to really get a jump start, so maybe you can get rid of this fucking thing for real this time, But I know it's hard. Ugh, I know it's hard. All of it is hard.
I don't think this one goes through either, Mom.
Another one I got wrong?
I think so. This person says, when did you realize you had a problem?
When my kids and husband told me I had a problem. Because I grew up in a dieting household, and in a dieting family, and everyone had to be super skinny, and I wasn't. And so I was always trying to lose weight and be skinny and do the right things. And my, first memories with food are trying not to eat it and worried about, if it was healthy or not healthy and trying to skip this or that. So I was never, just free with food. I've never eaten breakfast, I don't think, in my whole life, ever. Always skipped it. Even at school, I would often skip lunch and by the time I was in college, I was fasting and doing juice cleanses and things like that. And it was all because I was dieting and trying to be healthy and trying to lose weight, right? And I didn't look at it as disordered because I come from a family where all of those things were normal, but also eating disorders were in my family. I'm not the only member of my family with an eating disorder. It's just nobody ever talked about it. And so looking back now, obviously I had an eating disorder since back then, but I didn't know it. And I didn't know it until I discovered like my own personal way to get super thin. And then I started getting dangerously underweight. And then society, looks at you when you're getting a smaller, slenderer body is wonderful. And then all of a sudden, if you get too slender, people start worrying about you. And they're like, whoa, wait a minute, what happened? So I think that's what happened for me. My family, everybody just thought, oh, dieting, wonderful, no problem. I was always like going fat-free for 6 months, or not eating bread for 6 months, or cutting out this or that, or, only eating things that come in 100-calorie packs. Remember that phase?
I do remember that phase.
Yeah, so I went through all these phases of all of these things to lose weight or whatever, but nobody ever said anything because I feel like that's just what society does. Half the people in our world are doing stuff like that. So it wasn't until I just absolutely got to a low weight that the kids and my husband started saying, you should eat more, you're starting to lose weight, you should eat more. And then I just got really, really upset and angry because I thought I was dieting. And obviously I wasn't just dieting, but I was mad at them because they were pointing it out, and I thought I was finally being successful at losing the weight that I've tried to do my whole life. So I would just get pissed and angry, and it was just a whole ordeal. So long story short, I did not really know I had an actual eating disorder. I would not have told myself that I had one until probably a year or two before. God, I don't know. I don't know. I guess that's a tricky question because now that I say that, even though I fought it and told you guys I was just being healthy, you would think I would know in my head, that I was. Now that I look back, I probably knew that I was being disordered and doing disordered things. Well, that's a very interesting question. I'm going to have to think some more about that.
All right, you think some more.
Because I always thought I didn't know until you guys all pointed it out. But now that I look back, I'm like, maybe I did kind of know I was being super disordered and I was doing it on, I don't know. Very good question. I'll have to ponder that.
This person said, I'm in hospital right now and starting recovery. They're increasing my meal plans quickly and I'm stressing about weight gain and my body changing. I feel like I've already gained it back.
I'm sucking at this puzzle. Look how much farther we have to go from here. Yeah, but look at how, if this is going to go.
Yeah, I know, Mom. I'm aware of how massive this thing is. I didn't realize when I bought it.
So, I know you are terrified of the weight gain. And I also hear you when you say, look, I've gained, I'm done. But I would like for you to do a little reality check, okay? And I know it's hard when your eating disorder is so thick and loud up there. Thick. But I would venture to say that you probably have a lot more to gain, okay? A lot more to gain. I personally had to gain so much more weight than I ever thought I would have to gain to recover. So much more weight. Every time I thought I was done, the people around me would say, no, you're not there yet. The noise is still up there. And I'd have to gain some more, and I would fight it, and I would stop, and I would say no, and then I would be like, okay, what's 5 more pounds? I'll just try 5 more pounds. I would gain 5 more pounds, and then I still wasn't there. So the fact that this is your first chunk of weight that you're gaining, I would guess that you probably have another, 8 chunks of weight to gain. I hate to say that, and I know it's so incredibly frightening and scary, but also I'm not going to lie to you. It's scary and horrible, and it's a long road, and it's awful, but also anorexia doesn't happen to people who are not strong-willed and tough. So I know you can do it, especially if you set your mind to it, right? And so you're going to have to kind of give into it. You cannot fight the weight gain, okay? It has to happen, because when you have an eating disorder, that predisposition that you have, it came alive when you went into energy deficit and lost weight. The only way to flip that the other way is to gain weight back to your set point, and not just to your set point, but you have to get there and you have to maintain there for a while before it starts settling down. So when people say, oh, I've gained and I'm good, and now they want me to gain more and I'm panicking because I'm already there, I would say you're not. One reason I know you're not is because you're so petrified to gain a little more. Because if anorexia was really turned off, if that switch was really lightening up and those hormones were re-regulating again, you honestly wouldn't be so afraid to gain a little more, especially if it meant putting all your loved ones' minds at ease, right? So I know it's terrifying and that your meal plan is going up and that they want you to eat more, but you've got to get that genetic switch to turn off. And the only way to do that is to gain enough and to stay there long enough. But here's the thing. You are good at losing weight, right? It's literally what your body was made for in times of famine. So let's say we just gain the weight and we just maintain there for a long time. And if recovery is really so horrible, right? You can always run back. You know how to do it. But if you do let yourself get to your true set point, to that true higher weight that you're supposed to be, the voices will get so much softer and you'll be able to fight so much better, and you'll start feeling so much freer that you're not going to want to go back and lose any weight. You're going to be comfortable where you are, and you might even find you need to gain a little more, and you'll be okay with that, because anorexia won't be there telling you that it's bad and it's wrong. So I hope that makes sense. And I know you want me to be like, oh yeah, you're good, you probably don't have to gain. But you do need to gain more. And what a gift to those people around you that are scared and worried about you if you just jump on board and gain for them. I gained for you.
I didn't ask you to. I'm just kidding.
This is bugging me. There's nowhere else it can go.
I don't think it's...
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it's related to that one.
Gotcha!
Okay. This person said, it's no one's fault. It's highly genetic as well. ANGI study found metabolic dysfunction. Yeah. And then this person also said, all should look at Tabitha Farrar's YouTube, etc., and join Feast. You know what Feast is?
Yeah, it's the group that helps parents feed children.
Like homeless children?
No, with eating disorders.
Oh.
And it gives a roadmap of how to treat eating disorders, especially when you're treating children. And Tabitha Farrar, I've read all her books and I watch all her videos. She's amazing. I've seen all her podcasts. And she actually did a couple podcasts with my therapist, Shan Geisinger. And
I feel like that was the first thing of your therapist that you showed me.
What?
Some sort of podcast
that they did together.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love Tabitha Farrar, and Tabitha Farrar actually used the Feast model to put herself through her own recovery and feed herself, which is pretty fucking cool because, man.
Okay. Someone said I hated those 100-calorie packs.
Yeah, when I was really sick, that was one of the things I would do. I would count my calories, and so those were like kind of easy to count. Until, of course, and you know how eating disorders are, until that was too much. And then, like, then I couldn't fathom eating 100 calories at a time because it was so much. So then I would have to eat like less than that. Those cookies look divine, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking of making some pumpkin bread soon.
Oh, yummy.
Yeah, I got one. I just want to point out.
Oh, that's exciting. Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Oh, true.
I guess we'll find out. This person said, are your family members recovered as well?
I don't know. I'm not close with my family anymore. And so I actually have no idea. I would venture to say no.
I would venture to say no as well.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's a pretty safe venture.
But I don't know for sure. Because in my family, like, skinny was everything. And if you weren't skinny, you were bad or wrong. Or, you know, I don't know. I mean, I feel like they were good people, but I don't know. How do you square that? I don't know how to square that.
Square what? What does that even
Good
mean to square
people.
something?
Like, squaring. I don't know. The fact that I'm saying they're good people, but also they feel like being in a large body is wrong. Like, that feels like something you can't square with each other.
I don't know what square means, though.
It means,
what
like,
does that mean?
make it work. Like, can you be both? Can you be a good person and also not like, and also make fun of fat people? Can those things go together? So my family was like very unkind to large people, and only thought they would rather you be poor and skinny than, it was everything. So, but then in the next sentence, I'm like, oh, but they're pretty kind. So I don't know. Can you, like, have those two together?
I mean, they can be kind to you and not kind to everybody else.
I guess true. Although if you were in a large body, watch out, because they were making fun of you over chancing.
This person said, recovering from COVID, secretly loved the feeling of nausea and starvation and the sense of control it gave me. Now I feel petrified again.
I am so sorry, and I'm glad that you're paying attention to that and noticing that. And I know I am 50, and so I had to have a colonoscopy. I feel like that doesn't go together. You think that goes together? And so I had to have a colonoscopy, and when you do, you have to, like, clean yourself out really good for a couple days before.
Which sounds absolutely disgusting.
Unless you have an eating disorder. And then it sounds absolutely amazing and wonderful and nice and comforting. And, you know, and I just remember talking to my therapist ahead of time about how am I going to do this, maintain my recovery, make sure I stay strong in recovery, and that I don't, like, start feeling too good while I'm, you know, not eating and restricting and shitting my brains out with all this stuff. So number one is just the fact that we recognize that, right? That is part of our brain chemistry to feel that way. That's part of anorexia that makes us feel that way. That's the hormone shift that happens in our body, the neurotransmitters that are messed up. And so just recognizing it, that's what it is. It's like some people have binge eating disorder, and if you have binge eating disorder, it's in your genetics. Just like in anorexia, it's in our genetics to want to restrict and feel good when we restrict. Well, if you have binge eating disorder, it's part of you. You are going to binge eat sometimes. You know, you can try to make everything, you know, perfect around your house so that it doesn't happen very often. You can set it up just fine, but it is going to happen sometimes. And so when it does happen, you just recognize it. Okay, I binged, and I move on. And it's the same thing when you have an eating disorder and you have these thoughts and you have these times where you have to, like, clean out for a colonoscopy, or you have COVID and you feel sick. You have to plan for it. You have to know you're going to feel this way. It's okay to feel that way. Part of your brain chemistry. We have eating disorder brain chemistry, but just know it's there, acknowledge it. Hey, I hear you, but we don't do that shit anymore. I'm sorry, you know, it might feel bad for a couple days when we go back to eating like normal, but then we'll get in the swing of it again. and then you just get back to normal as quickly as possible. You know, what I think is the worst thing to do is to just start panicking over, oh my God, I feel this way. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? It's really bad that I feel this way. I shouldn't feel this way. It's wrong. It's not wrong. It's not bad. You have an eating disorder brain chemistry. So do I. You know, it's not, you have to plan for these times. It's okay. It's okay to feel this way. There's nothing wrong. It doesn't negate all your recovery that you've done to feel this way. You just feel that way. You were sick for a while, and it might feel a little funny to get back on track, but you're going to get right back on track. Right? Right. Where does this go?
This person said, so you mean they're good people, just toxic? Question mark.
Yeah, right. Yes. I don't know. Is that, can you be good and toxic? I don't know. I honestly haven't spoken with them in, what would you say, a decade or more?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no concept.
More than 10 years, so. So, I don't know. I would say yes, that they seem like maybe good people, and yes, also toxic people. So I don't know, can you be toxic and good? I don't know. It's such a gray area. People are people are not black and white. They're all shades of different things, and I'm sure everybody just tries the best, and I'm sure they probably didn't have the best, upbringing or life or background either to make the best choices for what they were believing in and thinking. So God damn, this is hard.
This person said, deaf all about the cleaning out feeling. I didn't want to lose weight or thought I didn't, yet it felt so good, and that makes me so sad.
I know, and it will feel sad, and it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel those feelings. You have anorexia, and that disease in our head makes us feel a certain way when those things happen, and it just does, and it's okay to feel them. I'm really annoyed that we don't have this piece right here.
You can look in the bag of extras.
No.
Okay.
It's okay. I'll just complain about it to you.
Great. Okay. This person said, also the jumper giving us all the positive carb vibes.
What's the jumper?
Your shirt, because it has carbs on it.
Oh. Yeah, he's cute.
He is cute.
He's very cute.
Okay. We don't have any questions right now.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, how long has it been?
I have no idea.
All right.
I don't know when we started.
Well, if we don't have any questions, we should probably head out for the day. Does that sound good to you?
Sure.
Okay. Are there any cats back there?
There's Loki. Look at Loki.
Oh, I just want to pick him up and snuggle him.
Sweet baby.
Is that okay?
I mean, he's probably not gonna like it.
Oh, I thought she was asleep. Oh.
He knows. He's so cute.
Let me move a little. Flip it off.
Oh, Zoe said, no, don't leave us.
Aww.
Someone said, I'm going to move and let my son make his own way in life for a better relationship.
That is such a good choice, and I think I know who just said that. And I'm just really, really proud of you. And Lou, I'm going to ask you, because I think I know who that person is, I'm going to ask you some questions.
Look?
Yeah. So I'm going to ask Lou some questions that I think would be good for you to hear. So let's see. When we were living together, okay?
Oh God, okay.
I was very afraid for you to move out on your own, right? Or for me to leave you in any way. Because I was afraid you were making bad choices.
I was.
Okay, she was. They were. And I was afraid that you were going to die. Or,
I almost did.
Bad things were going to happen.
They did.
So, I guess what I want to know is, like, do you feel like had we stayed living together, that you needed to separate from me and go through that to come out of it? Or do you feel like if we would have stayed attached, it would have been worse?
What have I told you the entire time I've been a teenager?
that you need to make your own mistakes.
Yes, you need to leave me alone so I can make my own mistakes in life. Because there's no way I'm going to learn if I don't go out and make my own mistakes instead of just hearing about yours.
Yeah. So, I don't want to, tell someone else's story, that I've been talking
What?
to, but I just want to.
Oh, are you talking about me?
No, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. And so, when we separated, do you feel like things got a little worse before they got better? Do you feel like you were able to eventually come back and talk to me better than you would have had we stayed together?
Oh, I think better than we would have, yeah. Because also, whenever I would have to move back into your house, it would not be fun or good. So,
Yeah. Do you feel
I
like
feel like it would have been more toxic if we would have just stayed together.
Yeah. Yeah, like we would have never had a chance to get over the toxicity and the bad relationship because it would have just kept going.
Yeah.
And we didn't have Yeah, like we would have never had a chance to get over the toxicity and the bad relationship because it would have just kept going.
Yeah.
And we didn't have time.
Or tools.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Yeah. I mean, it's not like that for everybody, but absolutely. And I was petrified, of course.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, I was like, I used to beg you to leave your snap maps on.
I don't remember that.
Please leave your snap maps on so I know where you are. Please let me know where you are. And the funny thing about that is, like, now that we've gone through that and you moved out and we have to have that separation, and I feel like it was easier for you to come, and I felt like I had more energy to help you because I wasn't so, like, fighting about you with it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you were ready to change things or move or anything, it was easier for me to be there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I used to beg you to leave your snap maps on because I was so terrified. But what's funny is now you would probably just leave them on for me.
Yeah.
Now
I
I
don't know
would-
if they're on right
But now I wouldn't ask you. But, like, there's been times when, like, you went on a trip to Washington or whatever, and I was like, hey, would you please leave your snap maps on so that if you fall in a, crash into a ditch, I can kind of find you.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, yeah, sure. So it's like, I think because we had that separation and you were able to kind of, like, both of us, and it wasn't just you that needed to grow and change, I did too. Because I was way too invested in everything you were doing. Yeah. I was just like, you're doing it all wrong. You're making all these mistakes.
I'm like, that's the point.
And you were like, I know, let me make them.
Let me have all my near-death experiences before I turn 23.
Phew, glad that's out. All right, well, thank you, Lou, for letting me
Using me as an example.
ask you
of
those
course.
questions.
So he said that is some sound advice right there, Lou. I know. They said they're stealing it.
I don't. What was which advice?
The advice that teenagers need to make their
Oh.
own mistakes and
Yeah,
not
but-
just listen about their parents'
Yeah, but-
mistakes.
Okay, in my defense, you did start saying that at like the age of 11.
No, I did not. I did not say that at 11.
Cute.
His little foot on his head.
asleep.
Cutie patooties.
So I hope that made sense. And I'm glad that you made that decision. And honestly, it's going to be better for you. You're going to be a more relaxed and loving parent to be there for other people as well, which is so important.
This person said, this person is the one with the son. They
Booyah!
said, feel so guilty but have to do what's right, constantly arguing over his habit. But I
Yeah.
also don't know if that's part of another one.
No,
because I
it's
don't
the
know the
same one.
context.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, well, remember your first apartment, your pot house?
My pot house.
That's what it felt
thanks.
like. And I just felt like we were always, there wasn't a moment we were in the house together where we weren't arguing,
Yeah.
or fighting, or I wasn't And it wasn't even like that you were picking fights. It was that I was always on you to change your behavior and change your ways.
Yeah.
But you weren't going to do that because you were in no space to do that.
Yeah.
Because I was always there on you. Nobody's going to change. It's like, it's like that. It's like the person who just said they were impatient and they want them to gain weight and stuff. And it's like the more people are like on you, the less you're apt to do it. And you need that space and time.
Yeah.
And I know you feel guilty. I felt guilty and horrible, and I worried all the time. And it is going to be scary, and it's going to be a change, and you're going to be petrified many, many nights. You're going to worry what's going on, and you're going to beg him to put on Snap Maps so that you can see where he's at. And he's going to be like, no way! And it's going to be awful for a while. But then you'll get used to it, and it'll be a new normal, and much better.
I don't know if this is a whole sentence, but this person said, when I had COVID, I felt I needed to step back from social media and the recovery community because I didn't know what I was feeling or why. I still don't, but what are your thoughts on recovery? And then it says ACC. I'm assuming that means it counts.
Yeah. So I'm very particular with recovery accounts. I'm trying to think of who I even follow. Because they can be very, everybody has different things that trigger them. For example, a lot of people, some people, full day of eating and what I eat in a day are triggering. Those saved my life. Those were never triggering for me. On the other hand, slender recovery influencers were very triggering for me. I could not handle seeing skinny people eating burgers. I couldn't do it. I feel like this piece has to be somewhere close by. But when you find it, I want to slip it in.
Okay. That's what she said.
And so I, like you, would have to stop for a while and go cold turkey and then come back and then out. And then I realized, why are these people on my feed anyway? If I'm getting to the point where seeing something is making me not want to go there, why am I even following them in the first place? And so I started unfollowing, I unfollowed Stephanie Buttermore, I unfollowed Rebecca Lung, I unfollowed I don't know who else I unfollowed. So many people, there's someone called Hannah Arts who I unfollowed. There's just a lot of very skinny, triggering Instagram accounts. And there's a lot of triggering TikTok accounts as well.
TikTok is fucking awful.
Yeah, so I don't follow that many people on TikTok, but I do see them, and sometimes
it's hard because the majority of the things you look at are completely randomized. So unless you're only looking through your followers, there's no way you can completely block out triggering content.
Yeah, somebody sent me a link or something. I can't even remember what it was, or added
now
me.
my hair feels so oily.
Or added me on a. I'm gonna wash mine tonight too. Or added me under somebody's video, and I went to it, and it was oh my gosh, it was the most triggering, skinny. And they had 100,000, 150,000 followers. And it was just oh my goodness. Not safe for me. But it just depends on who you are. So what I started doing, instead of searching for larger bodied, recovery accounts, I just started adding in some stuff I added in somebody named, I think her name is Tam for a change. She's just a human being who's in recovery. She's in a normal sized body. But she also does other things besides just talking about recovery. Or, some larger bodied people, some other accounts that weren't recovery based, I started adding in. And at first it was really hard because once I got rid of a lot of the recovery accounts and I started adding in a few other things, I remember thinking, oh, it's not I was almost a little bored when I would go to my Instagram. And now I've it's a little bit better, but it was definitely time, and maybe it's time for you to go through your accounts and just really get rid of a bunch, because if they're making you feel bad enough that you're not wanting to go there sometimes, or you're needing a break, you should not follow anybody that you ever feel like you need a break from, I'm trying to think of, my phone is of course what I'm doing this on, or else I would look at my accounts on there that I follow. But I follow like Dr. Joshua Woolrich. I follow him, and I'm trying to think of who else I follow. I follow some COVID doctor person too now.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, I don't know. I follow a random conglomeration of people. Actually,
Yeah.
it's a very strange group. I follow Chihuahua memes now. I don't know.
Very nice.
Yeah, but then there was some like I found myself even following a couple accounts just because I didn't like them, and then I would like argue with them a little bit. I don't know. And then get blocked. And then I made a spam account to like follow them. And then I realized like, what am I even doing? Why am I following somebody that I don't even enjoy? And so I stopped following them as well. But
Good.
I'm not saying they're bad people. And I'm not saying skinny recovery influencers aren't recovered. Maybe they are. Maybe they are. Absolutely. But I don't like to follow them, and it makes me feel yucky or uncomfortable, or I don't even know what the feeling is, or like I start questioning them or feeling like, how do you get to recover? And I don't know. I don't even know what group of feelings that I have about it, but I just don't like it. So not for me. And I would suggest if you ever get to the point where you feel like you can't even open up your own social media, then that's on you, right? That's not on the people on social media. That's on you for putting the wrong people on your page. You know? I can't believe how much you've done.
Thanks. My hands don't hurt yet. Let's see.
I'm really sad I can't find this
Someone
one.
said you have been such a help, thank you.
Aww.
Someone said, that's what she said, Lou's underbreath comments are the best.
I know, they are. I always I put these on YouTube every week and I timestamp them back, and sometimes I don't even hear the comments until I go back through the timestamps. Like, what?
You're like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, it's pretty funny. And then I'm like, oh, I got another one.
Yay, finally. This person said, your daughter is beautiful and so patient and understanding. One day I hope to have this.
Aww.
What time is it in America?
Well.
It is 6 o'clock in the morning. Why are you laughing?
What time is it really?
It's 6 o'clock in the morning.
I would not be up at 6 in the morning.
Well, you are. Surprise. It's 3:10. This person said, how do you stop counting calories? When I try to stop, I end up just counting them mentally.
Yeah, and you will. So that's the thing. The thing is that you will keep counting them mentally. Absolutely. Okay? So don't think that all of a sudden you're going to find this magical thing and stop counting them mentally, because that doesn't exist, and then you're going to get frustrated and you're going to give up. So what you do want to do is, number one, stop feeding your brain any more information, okay? Stop adding to it. So what that looks like is when you go to the grocery store, don't flip the labels over. You know what they say already. You know what's on the back of every single label. I know you do, because it's already in your brain, right? Your brain is a freaking calorie calculator. So don't give it any more information at the store. At home, don't flip those labels over. And if you think you're going to, have someone take a Sharpie and black them all out. If you have something like, I used to have to drink Boost for a long time, those Ensure drinks, and I would sit in the parking lot of Walmart and rip all of the plastic covers off of them. And I mentioned to somebody the other day that they could do that, and they said, but I already know how many calories are in it. And I was like, I do too. But by ripping those labels off and throwing them in the garbage, you're telling your brain that those calories don't matter, that you no longer are going to pay attention to those calories. Those are the kind of moves that you have to make to teach your brain that calories are no longer important, okay? And that's the first step to forgetting calories, is to start teaching your brain that you're not going to give it that information anymore. It's not like one day you're just going to stop counting. You are going to keep counting, but we don't want to reinforce that this is an important thing that our brain is doing. So start coloring those labels in black. Start ripping labels off when you can. When you go to a restaurant, don't look at the calories. If the what's going on? Oh, it's my glasses. What's going on with my hair? If the restaurant has calories on the menu, ask whoever you're with to read the menu to you. Tell them what you want and find out if it's on the menu and have them order it, or you order it without opening the menu. We don't want to give any more information to our brains. Okay, our brain has enough of that information already. And then slowly, I mean, for me, it probably took a year to actually forget a lot of this calorie information, but it does happen, okay? And for me, it was like, I used to count all day long. At breakfast, I would count, and then at lunch, I would count, and then at dinner, like, it would just be constantly calculating. And so at breakfast, when I would start making something and my brain would go 35, 50, 75, I would just start counting backwards. 100, 99, 98, 97, 96, 95. Just put different numbers in your head. Count backwards from 100 every time your brain starts counting, okay? And then the same thing when you have your snack. The same thing when you have your lunch. And the last thing to go for me was the end of the night, because it was like this calm time. And I would lay in bed at night and my head would just go, 50, 100, 175, 250, you know, and my brain would just calculate it up at the end of the night, right? And it took a long time for that part to go. So I kind of decided at one point in my recovery that if I was going to calculate in bed, I was going to have like some snacks by the side of the bed. And if I didn't reach a certain calorie, okay, shout questions.
I don't know.
And if I didn't reach a certain calorie amount, if I calculated, and if I didn't reach enough, I was going to eat more right then. So I kind of just made I made a lot of recovery rules in my recovery. And eventually, and I think the first thing that this happened with, oh, this chair is so much more cozy. The first thing the first time I noticed a change in that was I went to get peanut butter one day. And I grabbed the peanut butter and my head was like, was it 100? And how many calories is that? And then I was like, wait, was that for 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons? And I literally could not remember how many calories was in that peanut butter and if it was 1 or 2 tablespoons. And it was really hard not to flip that peanut butter back over at that point. But by then I had already not been counting calories for a while. So I promise it will happen. I mean, I don't know how many calories was in that Big Mac. When I was in my eating disorder, I would have known like that how many calories were in a Big Mac, even though I never would have eaten a Big Mac. I would have known because my brain knew every calculator or every calorie on the face of the earth. It just did. So first, stop feeding it more information and teach your brain calories aren't important by no longer looking. We know you're going to still calculate, but don't look anymore, okay? Then when your brain does start calculating, start counting back from 100 immediately. As soon as you hear your brain calculate, stop it and count back. Even if it gets there, even if like, say your meal is 500 calories and you're like 350, 400, 500, oh shit, I did it. Right then, start counting backwards, 100, 99, 98, 97, and go all the way.
Look.
Mix those numbers up in your head. He's so cute.
He loves me.
Oh, look. Let's see if you can see the kitty.
He's literally mashing his face into my nose.
The kitty is sleeping here. He's so cute.
Oh, look at him, Mom.
This is like a kitty paradise. I would like to... Oh, Luisa, okay.
He is purring like crazy.
I'm just about to start treatment. I have an assessment on the 14th, and this has helped me so much.
Oh, I'm so glad, and I'm so glad you're starting treatment. Yay. I feel like Luisa went and took a shit at the last live, too. Oh, I want to pick him up and snuggle him, but if I do, I know he'll, like, go. There he is. Loki, will you come snuggle me? Okay, Lulu.
Any tips to stop the guilt after eating? The guilt is killing my progress. I keep running back.
He's so long.
So, there's 2 types of guilt after eating, right? There's the type of guilt that makes you use behaviors or restrict again, right? That makes you compensate. And then there's the type of guilt that you can deal with and white knuckle and get through.
Cradle him like a baby. He doesn't like
Oh.
being held like that.
Is that what you like? He does like being held like a baby, Lev. Look.
His face is just so funny.
So, let's talk about that. The kind of guilt that you have, that you get after you eat, which is normal, and it means you're in recovery, and it means you're making the right choices, right? Because if you weren't making the right choices, you wouldn't be feeling this guilt. So it has to happen. It's normal. It's good. You have to go through it. That's the first kind of guilt. That's where we want to be. That's the guilt. That's the place we want to live in recovery, unfortunately. I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm not going to lie and sugarcoat things. You're going to eat. You're going to feel guilty. You're going to feel bad. Okay? Then you're going to have to eat again and do it all over again. But then there's the kind of guilt that comes that makes us want to restrict and use behaviors, and we do, and we give in, and we use behaviors, and we restrict.
He's eating my ear.
And so that's the kind of guilt that we need to avoid. And usually what that means is like maybe what we've done was a little bit too big of a step. For me anyway, this is what it meant. It meant that whatever I did was a little too much for me to handle at that time, okay? And sometimes during my recovery, I could handle bigger steps. Sometimes during my recovery, all I could do is maintain where I was. Don't ask me to eat one more fucking apple in my day. I'm barely making it eating this. Sometimes that's what I could do. And so if you're getting the kind of guilt that's making you use behaviors or restrict or compensate, then we need to take a step back, right? And figure out what other recovery moves can we make where we're still moving forward, but we're not going to force you into some sort of compensation, right? Into some sort of behavior that we don't want to happen. And so if you were jumping in there and eating like, I don't know, a McDonald's Big Mac meal, and then afterwards you were freaking out and feeling like you had to run at the gym or throw up or whatever you had to do. Obviously, we're not ready for a whole Big Mac meal. Can we just start with some French fries? Do you think you can keep that? It's still going to feel guilty. You're still going to have the guilt. But can we keep it down? And can we not run and restrict? Okay? So that's the difference between the kind of guilt that you have in recovery. And so if the guilt in recovery is making you do some sort of behavior, restrict. I forgot Louisa could see me from in there. So when I moved chairs and everything, I was thinking I was being all sneaky.
God, you're all up in my face now.
So if you're getting the kind of guilt that's making you compensate, I just want you to stop for a minute and think, what did you have? What did you do? What kind of recovery moves did you make? And obviously, if you compensated, it was too much for that moment, right? It was just a little bit too much. And that's okay. This is all just information. You don't get mad at yourself. You don't get upset at yourself. You're just like, okay, well, maybe I wasn't quite ready for a Big Mac and fries. That's for down the road. But maybe I could just handle fries. Maybe next time I'll just get a cheeseburger, right? And so we just try to think about what happened. We just try to use it as to advise us in the next steps in recovery, because we're still in recovery. It's a long road. We're going to be doing it for a long time, and we're going to make mistakes, and we're going to compensate. And there's a lot of guilt and shame the whole time in recovery. I'm not going to lie, because anorexia makes us feel guilty and shameful when we eat. That's part of it. That's part of getting out of it. There's no getting around that. But we do want to not compensate and not run back to her, right, when we do eat. So I would encourage you, if that is what's happening and that's the kind of guilt and shame that you're having after you're eating, that maybe you just take a step back and think, am I pushing a little too much right now? Is there a lot of other stressful things going on in my life? And my recovery is kind of just pushing me over the edge. So I don't want to sit here and advocate for a slow recovery or to stop making recovery moves. I don't want to advocate for that. But I also understand that we're human and this is a realistic, extremely long, horrendous process. And there's going to be times when you just can't do it all without compensating and running back. That just happens as part of recovery. And when that does, we just need to kind of be inquisitive, think about why that happened, what we can do differently next time. He does, look at him, Louisa. He does like being held like a little baby. Are you Grandma's little baby? Are you Grandma's little baby? Huh? He's more snuggly than Belly. Oh, yeah? Hi. Where are you gonna go? You gonna go? Okay. Where are you gonna go? Okay. Oh, he's so long. Okay, Luke. Hi. Hi.
Mom, I'm getting very tired.
Okay. All right, Luke. Last couple questions and then we'll go.
Okay, hold on.
Okay. Aww. I think Loki's going right back to sleep. And I am so bad at puzzles. This is ridiculously hard. I really want to find this one piece though. If anybody has any scary movie ideas, please let us know. Oh, maybe this is it.
Loki's so cute.
I know,
Hi,
he
little
is
boy.
so cute. Did you see him snuggling me like a little baby?
Yes. He would have stayed longer if you would have pet him.
Well, I was struggling.
I could tell. Okay. We have a lot of questions now.
Oh.
This person said, any tips to stop the guilt after eating? The guilt is killing my progress. I keep running back. Did you already answer that one?
Yep.
Okay. What did you deal with more, restricting or purging? Which was harder to recover from?
I did everything in the book. And I feel like everything was equally difficult from... I feel like everything was just as hard to get through because each one had to be gone through separately. So I didn't stop all of it at once, right? So I stopped like purging at one time, right? And then like got rid of my gym membership at one time, and like it was like white knuckling and horrible and awful and crying, and like then you finally get over that, and then like then you get over, then the chewing and the spitting I had to get over, and then that was horrible and white knuckling and awful, and you know, whenever you get rid of one thing, it's like everything else gets a little bit worse, and then the laxative use, right? And then you got to try to get through all of that, and so like I feel like every single aspect was extremely hard to get over. But the restriction is... like the behaviors are hard to get over because they're so intense in the moment, right? So it's a different kind of a thing you have to go through because you're like white knuckling it and you feel like you're going to give in. It is. And it's just horrific, right? And you have to ride that wave of feeling so bad and horrible and trying not to give in, and then you come out the other side and you still feel like shit even though you're out the other side. And then there's the restriction that is just so all-encompassing, right? So it's like the final frontier of like getting over an eating disorder, because even when you feel like you're not restricting, you're still restricting. Even when you feel like you're eating so good, you can still be restricting. And there's so many sneaky ways. And I remember telling my therapist at one point that I felt like mayonnaise was going to be my last my last thing that I ever tackle. And actually it was. Mayonnaise was probably my last. I mean, I was eating mayonnaise, but when I finally could open up the mayo and just slather it on without even thinking about it, was when I really knew that my restriction was over. So I guess they're just completely, to me, they were just like two completely things to get over. The behaviors were so difficult because they were immediate pain. It was like you were in immediate pain right then. And the only way out was to use a behavior. But you couldn't use a behavior. So like, it was horrific each time. And the restriction is kind of on the opposite end, because it's just like every day, all day, this low level anxiety and this low level stress trying to get over it, you know? And by low, I mean, it's not low level, but compared to trying to get over the other urges of behaviors, it is low level. What is going on?
They're scratching that cardboard thing.
Oh, that was...
They're being good kitties.
That threw me for a loop.
Look how much I've gotten.
So, I guess that's what I would say to that. I don't know if I could possibly pick one, because honestly, When I tried to stop chewing and spitting, I thought it would be the most horrific thing in the world. But then also laxatives, but then everything, all of it.
This person said, I also have a problem with 3 meals and 3 snacks. I feel like I am constantly being forced to eat.
I had a problem with 3 meals and 3 snacks too. I could not do 3 meals and 3 snacks to save my life. I struggled so much with that. I struggled so much with the concept of what a meal and a snack was. Because I would make a plate or look at my food and I would be like, it looks like a little too much for a snack. Should I call it a meal? Maybe it's just not enough for... I mean, like, I was just so confused at where to draw the line between a meal and a snack. And so I think that's where, like, setting alarms came in for me. Setting those alarms for every 2.5 hours to eat. And then just eating to the alarms. The alarms would go off, I would eat. The alarms would go off, I would eat. That really helped me. But also, that would still make you feel like you're eating a lot. And I know there's nothing I can say that's going to make you feel like you're not eating a lot. Because when you have a restrictive eating disorder, a normal amount of food is an enormous amount of food, right? So a normal amount of food for somebody else on you or I
Trying to put this
feels, yeah.
Mom, I'm about to start falling asleep.
Thank you. Okay. A normal amount of food for you or I, for somebody else, is going to feel like such a large amount of food on us. So where somebody else would eat, have 6 meals a day, I can't say, okay, eat three big meals a day, because I don't feel like that would do it, We have to teach our brains, and I'm just being honest, we have to teach our brains that we're no longer in a famine. And in order to do that, we have to break our food up multiple times a day. So I used to ask my dietitian and therapist all the time, can't I just eat all my calories at night? I hate eating breakfast. I hate eating during the day. I hate eating after work. I only want to eat at night. Why can't I eat all my calories at night if I eat the same amount? And I used to get pissed. And there's actually, researchable reasons why people with eating disorders have to eat breakfast and all day. And, they've done studies on rats and stuff, and they've...
Not the rats again.
Yeah, and they forced anorexia upon the rats, which wasn't very nice. And
Sounds
so,
like such a humane project.
because rats will get anorexia. And so they gave them anorexia, and then they put them in 2 groups. And one group, they gave them all their calories, once a day. And the other group, they gave them their calories at regular intervals. And the rats that got their calories at regular intervals recovered from their eating disorder. Such a funny thing to say. The rats recovered from their eating disorder. And it's because your brain thinks you're in a famine. And so if you wake up and you don't feed it, your brain thinks it's still in a famine, right? If you don't feed regularly, your brain thinks it's in a famine. If all your food is coming from one certain span of time, intermittent fasting, your brain, an eating disorder brain, is going to think it's in a famine. So I don't encourage you to eat any less than 6 times a day. Honestly, I feel like this is where mechanical eating comes in. You've got to just keep doing it, power through it, eat every couple hours. I know it's horrible. Pretty soon your hunger and fullness cues will come back online, and then it'll make it a little bit more pleasurable. So I know it's not pleasurable right now when you're trying to eat and your hunger and fullness cues aren't even online, and so they're making you feel bad and
Not
awful and you don't
online.
want to eat. Yeah, they're offline.
Ta-da.
Oh my god, you did the whole thing. That makes me really sad.
Well, I still have this one, but now I don't even think it goes to
I
this
think
puzzle.
it goes to mine.
All right, let's look.
Yeah, so keep eating 6 meals. I hate to agree with someone else.
This person said, every time I eat anything, I feel an extreme amount of guilt, and I really don't know how to stop it.
You can't stop it. There is no stopping.
Okay. Why?
There is no stopping the guilt that you feel. And that's because your hormones and neurotransmitters are flipped in such a way that when you eat certain foods or high calorie foods or foods that you feel like are off limits or forbidden, when you eat those foods, your brain sends out signals of shame and guilt because you're doing the wrong thing according to anorexia. Your body thinks you're in a famine, and when you're eating those foods, that's not what you should be doing if you're migrating. So your body's sending out the correct signals if you're in a famine and you have an eating disorder. But the problem is right now, you're not really in a famine. It's a self-induced famine that you're in. And so the only way to get out of it is to keep eating through the horrible feelings of guilt and shame. There's no way to take those feelings away, right? They are part of recovery, and they're going to happen. I mean, I wish I could tell you there was some way to take that away, but that's part of it. That's part of why recovery is so hard. You're going to eat. Know that it passes. It's not going to last. You're going to eat. You're going to feel guilt and shame, and then you're going to feel better. And then you're going to eat again. Then you're going to feel bad, and then you're going to feel better. But when you get to your set point weight, that eating disorder switch is going to release and come off, okay? That's when it's going to feel better. That's when things are going to really lighten up and become so much easier to fight, okay? So just keep gaining. And I mean, once you hit that set point, you're going to have to maintain there for a little bit. But then I promise that voice gets much, much, much calmer.
This person said, "Hi fam, I don't have a good update since the last time we talked." It's this person.
Hope I loved your birthday, Kate.
Oh, they said my appetite has decreased a shit ton because of my mental health, so I've relapsed again.
Oh, I am so sorry. That is such a bummer. I hope you can try to get back soon. Take care of yourself. Try to jump back on the recovery train before you go too far in the wrong direction, because remember, however far you go back toward your eating disorder is how far you're going to have to climb back out, right? And the end goal is recovery. You are going to recover one day, right? You're going to. So it's just a matter of how far are you going to let yourself go before you turn around again. So I hope you don't let yourself go too far, and I hope that you jump back on, and we're here for you, and stay strong. And I know it's hard with your family and everything. Oh, I got one. Just
Oh my god, look at that! Someone said, "You're so smart. Thank you all so much for taking the time to do this. Help us."
Aww.
Someone else said, "Is the cat a ragdoll? I've got 4. They're beautiful." No, it's not. It's a flame point Siamese cat. Not a couple weeks ago. This person said, "I have come so far in my recovery recently. Thank you. I ate 2 dinners just because I wanted to."
Oh, yay! I know, when I looked back at that, last what I ate in a day, I think I had, multiple main meals that day. But that was just what I wanted to eat, so that's what I ate. Did somebody call the cat a ragdoll? Is that a real name of a cat?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Did you not know that?
No.
Oh.
That's very
I'll show you
fascinating.
what they look like.
Ragdoll.
Yeah, they're pretty cute. Okay, let me show you.
I wonder if we should call it, Pops, and see if Tio's visiting.
Okay. I can call them.
Well, we could do it from the other room.
This is what they look like.
Oh, that's a cute cat too.
They're pretty cute.
All cats are cute though, honestly.
Very true. Oh, where did Loki go?
He's down on the floor.
He's watching George not know how to play with it. Toys. if you put your face, or if you put your hand close to his face, he'll detach from it. Because he does not know how to play.
Aw.
But that's okay. I still love him.
I still love him too.
This person said, "How did you suffer with body dysmorphia? Or did you suffer with body dysmorphia? If so, how did you help it?"
Yeah, so body dysmorphia is if you think about migration and what you need to be successful at migrating, right? When you're in a famine, we need 3 things. And that's why when we have anorexia, we have these 3 things. We feel the need to not eat, and we feel good when we don't eat, and we feel right, and we feel strong, and we feel calm when we don't eat, okay? We hallucinate fat stores on our body, okay? And we also feel the need to move all the time. Those 3 things are what is required to be a wonderful migrator. Migrator, is that a word? To be good at migrating. And that's why when you have anorexia, those three things tend to go hand in hand. Sometimes they're not all expressed the same. Sometimes some of them are expressed more than the other. But those three things tend to be and they're all caused by different hormones and neurotransmitters that go crooked when your eating disorder is expressed. Okay. And so I absolutely did not feel like I was as sick as I was. I can now, with clarity, look back at pictures and times when I was sick. Oh, that is low-key.
It is low-key.
I can look back at times when I was sick and see my sick body and recognize how ill I looked. Okay,
I was literally
having
him.
That is Loki. I was having people at work, ask me if I was okay, what was wrong, because I was so sick.
You're like, bitch, I have an eating disorder.
And I was confused and upset by that. Although I was confused and upset by that, but at the same time, I kind of had this internal feeling that I wasn't well. So it's kind of a weird thing. But I definitely, absolutely knew that. And so I think you have to start trusting someone else's eyes and opinion. Okay, you have to, if you know this about yourself, if you know you have body dysmorphia, okay, you've got to put your faith of what you look like in someone else. So for me, that was like my therapist, my husband. I had to put my faith into their hands as far as if I looked too skinny or whatever. I couldn't trust my own view of my own body. And so it's hard, but also, let's be real, you're not looking at yourself with clarity. And you just told me that, right? So it's funny how we can be like, oh, I have body dysmorphia. I don't feel, I look at myself and I don't, whatever comes with body dysmorphia. But then in another breath, we're like, but don't tell me to gain weight. Don't tell me. So those two things don't mesh. So we have to have a reality check and be like, look, if you have body dysmorphia, you can't turn around and get mad when people are asking you to gain weight and telling you you're too thin. You cannot argue that point because you're not looking at your body with a clear mind,
Wow. This person said, love cats, cat mommy I am. Me too.
Aww.
Someone said, your cats are so cute. Cats help with mental well-being. They have a calming effect on us.
Yeah, they do. Unless they're getting into lots of trouble and then Lou goes bonkers.
Yeah. Well, when they're being naughty. And it's so annoying because they know they're being naughty, so they just do it when I'm not around so they can get away with it. It's not like they're just being dumb and they don't know they're being bad.
Well, if they're doing it when you're not around, then you wouldn't know.
No, like if I'm in the other room.
Oh.
It's so annoying. This person said, my parents think I have lost weight, but I don't think so whatsoever, and I don't know what to trust.
Trust your parents.
So this is one.
Trust your parents. Trust your parents. 100% you're going to trust your parents. Because you have an eating disorder. Your eyes cannot be trusted. Your hormones and neurotransmitters are not working correctly. If you go to adaptedtofamine.com, there is some research on there. I'm pretty sure it's still there. I haven't been there in a little bit. I should go back and check it off.
You should.
But I'm pretty sure it's still there. But it shows the functional neural imaging of people with eating disorders and people without eating disorders. And they show your brain and how it lights up or doesn't light up when you're looking at other people and when you're looking at yourself. And our brains will look differently when Lou looks at their self, their brain
Their
will
self?
Yeah.
Themselves?
Themselves. When Lou looks at themselves, their brain will light up a certain way. When I look at myself, my brain will not. Okay? And that's part of having an eating disorder. So you cannot look at yourself with clarity when you have an eating disorder. You cannot. Your brain is not functioning that way. So it's imperative that you trust somebody else who's looking at you. And if they think you need to gain weight, then you need to gain weight. And I know that's hard to hear because it's like gaining weight is the mortal enemy of anorexia, and anorexia is fighting to stay alive right now. But it also has to happen. Damn, I thought that went there and I got all excited. I was going to be like, ta-da! Didn't happen like I thought.
Someone said I'm a dog person, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm a dog person too. I have 2 dogs. I have 2 dogs. One of my dogs is kind of part cat, and it used to come over, and I almost brought it over today, but it's always chaos because Belly.
Oh, it is chaos when Belly comes over.
It didn't used to be, but it is now.
Yeah. Someone said it's Girl Scout cookie season.
Ooh, but I thought we can't have those anymore.
Why?
I don't know. I thought there was some like social cause reason we weren't supposed to have them anymore.
Okay, well let me
Maybe
know
I'm wrong.
if Mom's correct. I'd like to know.
I'll look into that. But I do.
Someone said cats are kind of scary. I agree. Cats can be really scary. I used to be fucking terrified of cats.
Yeah. Tia's cats are scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I realized it's literally just Auntie's cats.
Yeah, my sister's cats were always a little scary.
I think it's because they were.
Yeah.
On the streets
I remember
of
we used to be
Norfolk.
there and like I'd hear them in the middle of the night and I'd be so afraid they were going to come and attack me or something.
So should I open my computer and start playing a game, or are we going to stay here that long? What's going
No,
on?
we should go soon. Is there any questions?
Someone said, I think my ED is fading as I don't care as much as I did. I was once vomiting just after drinking tea. What are you doing?
That is amazing because that means that the genetic component has fallen off. And so what you're left with is just all the neural pathways and stuff that you've taught your brain over time when your eating disorder was alive and well. So it's so much easier to fight when it's just the neural pathways and that genetic component has fallen off. And I'm so, so, so proud of you. That's amazing. Yay! Yay!
No more questions, Hannah.
All right, no more questions, fam. We are gonna go. I don't know. I'm like 4 out of 10 on puzzling today. That's my
4 out of 10?
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel I did. 4 out of 10.
Okay, well that's your own opinion.
How'd you do?
I mean,
10 out of 10 over there. All right. All right, everybody. It is time to go. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, it'll probably take me 4 or 5 days, as always, to get this up on YouTube because I like to timestamp it and listen to all of Lu's snarky remarks. But as always, goodbye. Say goodbye to the toast. Eat a lot of good food.